Welcome to the Hobby School podcast. Whether you're a seasoned hobbyist or just getting started, Hobby School is the perfect place to learn something new. My name is Dr. Destini Copp, and I'm your host of the podcast. But before we jump into our episode for today, the only thing I ask is that if you enjoyed the episode, please share with a friend and give us an honest review on your favorite podcast platform. This helps us get out the content to more people. I also want to invite you to get on our wait list for our next Hobby School Online Learning Summit. These are free to attend, and you can find the link to join at hobbyschool.com, which is also in our podcast show notes. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. And my special guest today is Heather Riggs. Heather is the founder of Her Style and host of Her Style podcast. As a 15-year certified image consultant and color specialist, Heather empowers ambitious women to step out of their insecurities and enter their calling by showing up and getting dressed every day with confidence. And Heather, I am super excited to jump into this topic with you. We're going to be talking about how to build a wardrobe you love. And I have a ton of questions, but before we get into them, can you tell the audience just a little bit more about you and how you help people?
Absolutely. And Destini, I'm so excited to be here. It's an honor to be on the podcast with you. So thank you first and foremost for having me. So you summed it up really well. I've been a certified image consultant and color specialist for the past 15 years, dating myself a little bit. I have a husband of about the same time period, and we have a now 5-year-old son. So we live just outside of Philadelphia. But after my son was born and COVID happened, I really revamped all my services to be able to work with women virtually. I think that's what people want right now, is to be able to work with people from the comfort of their own home. And it's been such a great experience. I've been able to open up my services now to women all over the world. So that's been such a great experience. And as you mentioned, I love empowering ambitious women to show up and get dressed every day with confidence. And we do that through helping them discover their best colors, building out wardrobes they love. So I have a program for that. And then of course, helping women one-on-one, whether they have a personal brand online and they want to show up at their best and most confident, or if they just really want to build out their wardrobe and have a more functional closet that actually works for their everyday life.
Now, Heather, one of the things that you and I were talking about before we started recording was, and I think a lot of people who are listening here can relate to this. I know that I personally have a closet full of clothes. I mean, our closet is huge. It could be, you could almost fit a bedroom in there. And I don't feel like I have anything to wear most of the days. Can you talk us through why that, what are those reasons behind that, and what can we do about it?
Yes. Well, first of all, you're not alone. There are statistics that show that, at least in America, we wear less than 10% of what we own. So most of us find ourselves in that position. And I think the kind of bigger umbrella reason why that is because we're shopping on impulse rather than with intention. So you might be just kind of running out to grab something that you need to wear for a dinner or an event one night, and you're not thinking about the big picture of your wardrobe and what you need on a day-to-day basis. So it's something that happens to a lot of us as women. We kind of find ourselves in that boat. And I think another piece of that is, if our lives are transitioning as we get older, we find ourselves in different seasons of life. Maybe you've changed careers, or you've relocated, or your family has grown, or those kinds of things, and we're not keeping up with our wardrobe. There will be a mismatch at some point in your life, and that might be happening right now. So whether, your life has transitioned and your wardrobe hasn't, there's lots of different reasons that can be, but really the best way to fix it is to just start being more intentional about what you bring into your closet.
Well, how exactly does that work? Because I know I am going on vacation. We're going to Branson, Missouri to baseball tournaments. And I was like, you know what? I need some more like casual type shorts, right, to wear with shorts. What does it mean about being more intentional?
Yeah. So I think it's funny because, when we go grocery shopping, I know for myself, I don't go without a list because I know when I go to the grocery store without a list, I'm going to get a whole bunch of things that look really good at the time. And then I'm going to go home and realize I didn't get the right ingredients to actually make a meal for dinner for my family. And it's the same when we go shopping. If we're going without a plan, without a list of what we actually need, we will get very distracted by shiny object syndrome and reach for, the pretty top or that cute dress instead of maybe getting the shorts that you need for your vacation. Or maybe you need a pair of really comfortable basic sandals, but that's not as fun as the cute heels that you got distracted by. So it's going with a game plan and knowing what you need, whether it's for a specific event like a vacation or for your wardrobe for the whole season. I usually recommend that women look about 3 months at a time. Start with your calendar. Look at what events you have coming up and then compare that with what's in your wardrobe. Do you actually have what you need for those events? That's when you can really start to get more intentional and pre-plan so that when you do go shopping, number one, where the gaps are in your wardrobe, what you need right now, and you can start to prioritize your shopping list and line it up with the budget that you have available.
Now, Heather, I know that you have a step-by-step process to help people build a wardrobe that they love. And yes, one of the things that I was thinking about as you were going through that, I've been different sizes over the years. And I think a lot of women listening to this can probably relate to this, been a size 10, I've been a size 12, I've been a size 6, I've been a size 14. It's crazy, right? So can you walk us through those steps? What would you recommend for somebody like that to build this wardrobe that we love to go into that closet and we're like, yes, I can actually find something to wear?
Yes, of course. And before we dive into the steps, I will say that's a really common hang up for women is if they are on a weight loss journey or if they're not exactly where they want to be in terms of their size. I know sometimes we don't want to invest a lot in our wardrobe when we're hoping that those clothes won't fit us maybe by the end of the year. So in that case, I would recommend doing this, but just building out a smaller capsule for right now, because I want you to look and feel your best today. I don't want you to be waiting on a specific goal or some kind of future reward for yourself. Once you hit that, you're going to feel so much better along that journey if you're really showing up confidently right now. So just take the same steps and apply them to just a smaller capsule wardrobe. Don't feel like you need to go out and buy everything today, but get what you need to be able to kind of feel your best along the way. So I do have 6 simple steps to build a wardrobe that you love. And you can do this no matter your calendar, your cash flow, or your current clothing size. These are really foundational steps. And I recommend that once you get these dialed in, you can just kind of rinse and repeat season after season. So step 1 is dialing in your signature style. This is a really key piece because we have 7 seconds to make a first impression. It's really important to know how you want to show up and tell an accurate story about who you are through your wardrobe. So knowing your style and what is going to bring out your best is so important, and it will help you make all the rest of the decisions. Because if you have, a more feminine or a more classic style, that's going to dictate the fabrics that you choose, the silhouettes you gravitate toward, the colors that you wear. So this is a really key first piece. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is learning how to flatter your figure. Now, the great news is that our bodies, while we might fluctuate in size, the basic structure of our bodies doesn't change very much with our weight. So for example, your proportions aren't going to change if you go up or down a couple of sizes. So understanding things like your body's proportions, your basic inherent silhouette, that's the body shape you were born with. For me, I have a triangle figure, which means my hips are a little bit wider than my shoulders. So no matter how much my weight fluctuates over the years, that's just my weight always goes towards my hip area. And there's different tricks I can learn to balance that through my outfit choices. So understanding how to flatter your figure, knowing how to balance your proportions and your shape and all of that is the really great next step in the puzzle. The third piece is discovering your best colors. Color is such an important piece because wearing your best colors can brighten you up. It can make you look younger and more refreshed, whereas wearing the wrong colors for you can make us look tired or under the weather or older, things that we definitely don't want. So it is a really helpful thing to know your basic best colors and whether you look good in warm, neutral, or cool colors. So that is one of my favorite things to do with women, is showing them those tricks. Then once you get those basic 3 foundations, you can really start tackling what's in your closet. So I recommend doing a closet audit at that point, going through how you realistically spend your time, what you have in your current closet, and figuring out how that matches up so you can locate those gaps and start making your shopping list like we talked about. Then step number 5 is designing your dream capsule. Whether you're doing this for a smaller number of items to get you through a weight loss journey, for example, or whether you're building out a full capsule for your wardrobe. And when I say capsule, I don't mean it in the sense that, sometimes you'll hear like you can have 33 pieces or there's a specific number. It's really personalized to what's going to be best for you, how many pieces you want to have, all of that. But again, this is kind of the fun part about being intentional with your wardrobe and figuring out what you want it to look like, how many pieces you want to have, how it's going to line up with your everyday life. That's really the fun part and kind of bringing it home. And then step 6 is starting your shopping adventures and going out and filling in those gaps with confidence, knowing what you need based on the earlier foundations and what's on your list. Or if you are tight on your budget or you have a lot of great pieces to work with, maybe it's just styling those items in new ways. So step 6 is kind of shopping and or styling, depending on where you're at.
Well, you gave us a ton of stuff to unpack here. So a lot of great information. I do want to go back to the first step, which was dialing in your signature style. And I know you have a quiz on your website. I actually took it this morning because I saw it. I was like, oh, I got to delve into this and kind of, figure out what mine is. And I think it came out to be, I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was like classic, neutral. There was percentages there. Can you walk us through how do we figure out our signature style?
Yes. Well, obviously my quiz is a great cheat sheet for that because it will, give you your top 3 results, because I found over the years, most women don't fall into just one bracket. Most of us don't have a 100% classic style. We maybe like a few other elements of different things. So it's really figuring out how to bring it all together to create your own unique signature look. And that's not just based on your personal preferences. A lot of times, I think this is where we find that disconnect as women. We might gravitate toward a particular style visually. We like the way that it looks, but we also need to consider, what is our lifestyle? What are our actual day-to-day needs from our wardrobe? What colors do we like? What sort of fabrics do we gravitate towards? What are our career goals? There's a lot of different pieces that should really be considered when you're defining your own unique style. So the quiz is definitely a great way to dissect all of those different pieces and then figure out what that is. But it doesn't stop there. So now you've gotten your quiz results, Destiny, but what's great about that is I have a follow-up email series that will really help you to hone that in even further. Once you have those different umbrella terms, you can start to look at what are the favorite pieces in your current wardrobe, and then what do you love about those pieces to really figure out your style values. Whether it's that you like pieces that are more versatile or more comfortable, or that have a dramatic edge and really bring all eyes on you when you walk in the room. It's starting to have awareness of those different factors and then bringing it all together.
And I look forward to kind of delving into those emails when I get them. I want to switch gears just a little bit. I would talk about step 3 in your process, which was discovering your best colors. And I will tell you that I feel like a lot of my stuff is just black in my closet. Yeah. I may have some pops of colors here and there, but a lot of it is just black. So walk us through a little bit about, why is color important and how can we use those in our day-to-day life?
Yeah, I love sharing this statistic. It absolutely blew my mind when I heard it, but up to 90% of someone's gut reaction about you is based on color alone. Up to 90%.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And that's, whether you're looking at an individual or evaluating a product or an environment, our brains are looking at color and using psychology to make decisions about that. And it's so important in today's world where people are so hurried, right? And we're in a swipe left, swipe right, kind of society. It's important to show up at your best and make a really great first impression, whether you are going on a job interview or meeting with a potential client or even making new friends as an adult or dating. It's so critical to show up at your best, and color is one of the biggest ways to do that. It's such a huge needle mover. So I love empowering women to figure out their best colors. Of course, that is partly based on your personal coloring. So your skin tone, your hair and eye colors. But my approach is a little different than a lot of color specialists is I also like to infuse your personality and your preferences, because I could tell you, Destiny, that you look amazing in blues, but if you don't like the color blue, that's not really going to be helpful to you. So it's kind of getting more specific to what you need and then going from there. But I could share, a couple basic colors that are sort of foolproof if you are interested.
Yeah, why don't you do that? I'm interested. I'm sure the audience is too.
Okay. One of my favorite colors to recommend you wear is your eye color. And the reason for that is, number one, it's inherent to you. Whatever your eye color is, it's made to look beautiful on you. So there's not a lot of guesswork there. If you have brown eyes, then you can, safely wear, beautiful chocolate tones. If you have blue eyes, you can, kind of pull your eye color out, especially wearing it close to your face is so powerful because it's going to give you a really trustworthy and approachable appearance, psychologically speaking. So that is a fantastic color to wear in those situations where you might be going for an interview or an initial meeting with someone, and you want to really be able to maintain good eye contact and communication and look really approachable and trustworthy. So that's a super powerful one. Your hair color is also a really great color to repeat throughout your outfit. I love to wear that, especially in grounding pieces like shoes, your belt, a handbag, because that's going to give you a really down to earth look. And it'll just help to keep the eye moving up and down your outfit as well. So it creates a lot of visual interest. So your hair color is a great one to repeat. Also for women, one of the most flattering colors that you can wear is your natural blush color. And this is where it gets a little trickier because you want to know whether you look best in kind of cool pink tones or warm peach colors. So that's where it's helpful to bring in an expert to kind of guide you in that way. But if you can see clearly your natural blush color, especially after you get out of a hot shower or go for a run, and if you echo that in your clothing, it's going to make you look more attractive, more feminine, and of course, approachable. So those are just a couple quick ones right out of the gate that you could get started with.
And those are some really, really great tips. But Heather, before we wrap it up here, do you have any last minute tips for the audience?
Yes, I think what I'd really love to leave everyone with is just empowering them to trust their own intuition when it comes to style. I can certainly give you my recommendations and give you lots of advice, but at the end of the day, it's so important for you to trust yourself when you're getting dressed and to feel your best, because if you don't feel confident when you're looking in the mirror, when you're walking out the door, it will show. So it's most important that you are wearing clothes that make you feel amazing, whether it's something I've advised for you or if you're deviating from the path. I want to lend the idea that you know more than you think you do. And most of my clients are really surprised by our work together that they do know more than they thought going into the process. And it's just such an empowering feeling to know you can trust yourself when it comes to your style.
And Heather, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing, these 6 steps and all the tips that you had regarding color and creating our signature style. But before we hang up here, can you let the audience know where they can find you? And I believe you have a free gift for them also.
I do. Yes. I would love to connect with you. And, if you have any specific questions following the interview, I'm happy to answer those. So you can find me on Instagram at Heather Riggs Style, or connect with me through my website, which is herstylellc.com. And I would love for you to take the free quiz and figure out what your signature style is. But one of the questions I get asked a lot is, what are the essentials that every woman should have in her wardrobe? And my answer is always unexpected, because I don't think there's one set list of pieces that every woman should have, because it does depend on what you like to wear and what your lifestyle is. So what I did instead was put together my guide to creating your own wardrobe essentials checklist. So you can walk through a few simple steps and figure out what you need in your wardrobe specifically, so you don't end up feeling like you have a closet full of clothes with nothing to wear. So they can find that at herstylellc.com/gift.
And we will make sure all of those links are in the show notes so people can click on them, Heather, and find you. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to sign up for the waitlist so you'll be the first to know when our next free HobbyScool online learning summit launches. The link is in the show notes for this episode, or you can go to hobbyschool.com, and that's HobbyScool with school without an H in it. Talk soon.